Alright, camera speeding, quiet on set. And voiceover, go.
This is Jesus, and these are his friends. Jesus is God's son, the rescuer, who came to earth to live a normal human life. He was born like a normal human baby, and he grew up into a normal human man. And he was friends with all kinds of normal human people. Some of his friends were his disciples. They chose to follow Jesus and learn from him. But first, they were called. John and Andrew were friends. One day, they heard who Jesus was and started following him. When Jesus turned around, he asked them what they wanted. They asked him where he was staying, and he told them they would see if they followed him. Along the way, they picked up Andrew's brother, Simon Peter. Together, they went to Galilee, where Jesus called a man named Philip by name. And then Jesus told Philip's friend Nathanael he had seen him when he was under a fig tree. Later, a fisherman named James was tending his nets with his brother John when Jesus called them both to follow him. Immediately, they left their nets and obeyed. Jesus also called Matthew, a tax collector who was working in his booth. Of all Jesus' disciples, you might think Matthew was the most unpopular. But there was also Judas Iscariot, who one day would betray Jesus. He was pretty unpopular too, but Jesus still trusted Judas so much that he let Judas be in charge of all of their money. There were other disciples too. Thomas, another guy named James, another guy named Simon, and even another guy named Judas. But we don't know how any of them became a disciple. We just know that they were with Jesus all the time. They heard Jesus teach about God's kingdom. They saw Jesus do miracles, like when he calmed a storm with a word, or when he fed thousands of people with just a few baskets of food. Besides the disciples, Jesus made lots of friends wherever he went. He had dinner with powerful people, like the religious leader Nicodemus, and a centurion in the Roman army, and rich people like the tax collector Zacchaeus. And he also spent time with people who weren't powerful at all, like a Samaritan woman at the well, and also Mary and Martha and their brother Lazarus. Yup, the same Lazarus who Jesus raised from the dead. Jesus was friends with the rich and the poor, the popular and the outcasts. People who had never even thought about spending time together suddenly found themselves sharing a meal with one another because of their friendship with Jesus. Some people judged Jesus because of who his friends were. They wondered, "Why do you eat with tax collectors and sinners?" Jesus answered in a way none of them expected. He said, "Healthy people don't need a doctor. Sick people do. I want you to show mercy. I have come to call not those who think they are righteous, but those who know they are sinners." In other words, Jesus wants to be a friend to everyone. So he showed everyone kindness and he told everyone the truth. Near the end of his life, Jesus told his disciples, "You are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you servants, because servants don't know what their master is doing. Instead, I call you friends." He also told them, "Love each other in the same way I have loved you." There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. And Jesus would go on to show them just what he meant. He would lay down his life in the greatest act of love to be known for all time as the best friend ever. And I can't wait for you to hear that story.